All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, we are actually joined by tonight a local area band. That's right. These guys might be local to our area, but their music is worldwide, and it's hitting the airwaves all over the place. We got Kingston, Ontario, Canada's own. We got the Beta 58's in the building. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Awesome. Doing good, man.
I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airwaves a little bit of your time, man. It's super cool when I get a chance to interview individuals from, like, other countries, but when you get a chance to interview killer bands from your area, that right there, man, is an honor to me. So thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for having us, yeah.
But I gotta take you guys back to the beginning of your amazing band to start. I have to ask, like, what actually made you guys decide to come together as one to form this band? And of course, how did you guys actually first meet in the first place?
Who wants to take that? You take it. We were just talking about this. Well, we were actually just talking about this. So I'd say it was about 2012. These guys, there was a party that was going on. It was a little tribute for a friend that had passed away, and they I wasn't actually in the band at that time, but these guys got together. Yeah, that was the first formation of the band, the original formation. I joined in 2014, I think. Yeah, there was a couple little incarnations of the band from 2012 to 2014. Yeah. 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 So well. This is Sean, by the way. He plays guitar and does a lot of songwriting. Yeah. My name's Landon. I play the drums, and
I'm Josh. I play guitar-ish.
Yeah. And we're missing one guy, and that's the bass player Rocco.
Yeah. Yeah. Not really missing him.
Well, the one thing I have to ask, guys, because I didn't even know you guys actually like had the band going on in 2012. I thought it just launched in 2014. So for the people that are just like me that didn't know about that small little beginning era of the band, do you guys have any earlier release projects from 2012, 2013 actually out there? That way the fans that didn't know about this can actually check them out and hear the early beginnings of the Beta 58's.
We do. There's a 3-song EP that I kind of did on my own with a good friend of ours, like Matt Pomade. He played in the Creep Show and all those bands. Like, I did a 3-song EP, just he and I, kind of guitar and vocals myself, and him playing drums. And it is out there, but I'm not sure how you'd hear it, unfortunately.
It got lost in the internet, man. Yeah. I hear that because there's so many amazing projects that I heard years ago on the internet that I've been trying to track down. You have it in your head, but it's like the Mandela effect. It's almost like, did you really hear it?
Yeah, I think we all played in bands over the years. Like, I played in a band from 2002 to 2004 called The Dying Race out of Napanee, and we recorded 2 records. It was like skate punk scene, and also played in more of a kind of a crust punk thrash band called The Politics in around 2004 to 2005, 6-ish. So, but we were all playing, in different bands and different things. But yeah, I guess it was 2004 to 2014 that really brought us all together. Yeah.
Yeah, like we started kind of like playing as much as we could and stuff like that, and then we had a good friend of ours, Chris McDonald, Fuzzy, playing drums, but it all kind of started to click in when Lynn joined the band. It was more focused and more, let's do something with this type thing. So yeah, we started in 2012, but 2014 was the kickoff, really.
Yeah, and I got a copy of that 3-song EP that Matt Pomade played on the drums, and I loved it. I thought it had such a great overall sound, and that stuck with me. Actually, I think he gave that to me, and probably more like around 2012. Like, I remember hearing that for a couple of years, and I always liked it. I always liked the sound, so I was actually a fan of the band before I joined the band. So it was cool for me to step in,
And also, March 15th of 2015, you guys actually released your debut self-titled 10-track album. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this first record. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of it today, if it actually still is out there on the internet?
It still is out there, and the best place if you want to support the band is Bandcamp, and I know that's a very popular website for the true DIY, indie artists. So you can go to Bandcamp and you can purchase that album. I think it's $5 for the 10 tracks. But everything that we've ever put out is on Bandcamp for purchase, for stream. But it's also on Spotify too, if you just want to check it out.
That first album was our friend Sean Doyle, Papa D, recorded that for us. It was, it was like a moment in time. It was all of the songs we've been playing, like from various different bands, like as Beta 58's. It was a great snippet in time to go forward from.
So you're from Prescott, right? Which is not too far. It's just up the road, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prescott, yeah. I don't know if you guys been there, like a really small town. Once you pass Brockville, it's about, I would say, like 10 minutes on the 401.
Brockville?
I lived in Prescott at one point. Yeah. That was many years.
It's not a bad little town. I mean, it's not a bad little town. We're actually just upgrading, man. We just got like a Dollarama and a freaking Chuck's Roadhouse. I know to you guys in Kingston, you're like, we had that for like 20 years, but...
Prescott, it doesn't smell like that anymore.
So how far do you go back in the punk scene? Like, do you remember, bands from the Kingston, Napanee scene from years ago? Like,
I remember some of the bands, yeah. I remember some of them. Honestly, there is a lot of bands that I'm still discovering, that I'm still actually realizing. I realized there's a lot more punk rock bands out there than meets the eye, truthfully.
So the guy that we chose to produce the album, he was out of Trenton area. His name's Sean Doyle. They called him Papa D. And he played drums for a great band called the Dead Sparrows for many years. But Papa D, I remember the album that really hit it for me was he recorded I Hate Sally, if you remember those guys from Kingston area. But he recorded
Never seen them live, but I definitely heard about them.
Yeah. So that was all sort of, early 2000 stuff where he was doing that. So I'd recorded the second A Dying Race album with him and another record by a metal band called Excarnation. I recorded the drum tracks with him. And he's also always just a super cool guy. It was always really laid back. He always had a table with like a massive pile of dope. But it was really laid back because he had this studio in his house. He'd renovated his whole house, and it was like, it didn't have this high pressure thing like going into a studio sometimes feels like. It felt like you were going into this guy's home and you were hanging out, and he had this really tall vaulted ceiling kind of place that was really open and cool to record in, So we chose Papa D because he's an awesome guy and he's produced a lot of great records. And so that was the original record from 2015.
Yeah, that was the first full length, and Sean was great. It was just like a at home kind of attitude. Like, let's just play the songs and record an album.
Yeah. And we were just saying, it's like, when a band first gets together, a lot of times you're pulling songs from other stuff, other projects from here, there, and everywhere, and bringing it all together for the first time. So, but I guess when I joined the band, I feel like it kind of brought it together somehow. Like, it solidified the sound that I think of as.
Yeah, it was way more cohesive. Like we had a good friend of ours playing drums, but it just when Landon joined the band, it just seemed way more cohesive. Like this was supposed to sound like.
And also as well, August 1st of 2022, you guys actually were a part of Paul Gott of Ripcord Records' Punk Canada Volume 1 compilation project. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about that opportunity, and of course, how did it actually arise for you guys? Because just like yourselves, there's so many amazing stellar bands just on this compilation project.
Yeah, we kind of got asked to do that. I play drums in the Ripcords, so we pretty well kind of got voluntold to do it. That was actually our old drummer Des McGill played drums on that. We the cover we do is for Christ's sake.
So I think the concept of the Punk Canada was that it's all Canadian bands, but modern Canadian bands covering songs from older, also Canadian bands. I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pre 2000s. So
okay,
yeah.
So post 2000 punk bands from Canada playing pre 2000.
We did a song by the Fiends. It's our good friend Greg Watson, who everybody knows is probably Mississippi Grover, who plays in the Strange Happenings as well. It was his band from the 90s we did. It was a song called Leave Me Alone. Yeah. But it was really like an old garage kind of spooky song that we redid into a punk song.
And I gotta say as well, man, honestly, like this obviously this is a volume 1 compilation. Do you know if there's gonna be a second one? And of course, are you guys actually gonna be a part of volume 2 as well?
No,
I think there's 3.
Yeah, there's 3
right
now. Yeah. So Paul hasn't stopped. So there's a second. There's now a third out. Yeah. So it was all we could do to get the song out.
But I think it's cool.
I actually thought it was like a yearly thing. That's why I was assuming that that's 2022, 23. But it sounds like he's on a roll.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is almost a yearly thing. I think we were the first one in that first crew, but it just keeps going to different bands now. So like every year, I think it's probably giving me one out. We were in the ground floor.
And also as well, guys, September 11th of 2023, you guys actually released your most recent 10-track album titled Agree to Disagree. That was actually engineered by Terry Ben. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us the story behind this phenomenal album, and of course, where can we actually secure ourselves a copy of it today? And of course, are there any hard copies available of this brand new project as well?
So Terry Ben and I, we went to high school together, and the very first band that it was actually, I consider it the first band that I played in, called The Dying Race, 2002. So Terry was a singer in that band, and I played the drums. So we go way back, playing punk together. So he really understands punk very deeply, and we've always been kind of on the same page when we work together. So Terry actually recorded, there was a couple singles that we did that we ended up calling the Rogues Hollow Sessions. It was 2 songs we did in 2017. So he produced those 2 songs. And when we got this batch of new songs together that we were trying to figure out who we were going to get to produce it, I'd been talking to another producer for a while, and we were back and forth, and schedules didn't really line up. And then, so I just thought, I'm going to give Terry a call and just see where he's at. And when I called him, he was super enthusiastic about it. He was really into the project. He had a chunk of time where he could do it. So everything lined up really well for him. Plus, he'd already recorded us. Plus, we know the sound. We have a good relationship with him. Yeah. So we everything aligned perfectly, and we had a really cool time with him.
Terry again is like Sean Doyle. It's so just, it's like home. You just like ease into it like warm butter. Like it's just play your songs, record the album, and you're done. There's no stress. There's no nothing like that.
So easy to work with.
Yeah, and it sounds good.
Yeah, and we like to go into the studio ready to time. Like we had our songs dialed in. We knew exactly what the BPMs were and exactly what we were doing. And I mean, an engineer or producer is really going to appreciate that, but he works like that too. So like we already had the drum sound dialed in. He already had the tones, the guitar tones that he wanted to hear on the record already pre-programmed and ready to go. So we literally walked in there, plugged in, and just went. And for, it only took us 2 days to record the record.
Yeah.
And as for a fan's point of view, man, when I listen to that album, you can definitely tell that it is perfectly engineered, man. So definitely, you can tell Terry definitely did his thing actually behind the scenes of this amazing project.
The best thing about it is that it sounds really clean and clear and crisp, and the production sounds modern and relevant, but it still sounds like a punk record. It still has a raw, edgy sound to it. So somehow he managed to achieve this perfect balance of like good modern production meets like the way a fucking punk record should sound.
We're very much a live band, and it's amazing that Terry captured that, but on a record. He did that perfectly.
And we were insistent about that too. We wanted to go in and set up as a band. We didn't want to do the multi-tracking approach where you're just putting layer and layer and getting carried away. Like, we're a live band, we're a punk band. The whole thing is to try to capture the sound of the band. So we made sure when we went into the studio, we were all playing together. We were all isolated, but we could see each other, and we played just like we always play in the studio, in the band room, at the shows, whatever. So he was able to capture that live sound, and it sounds exactly like the way that we sound, just in its fullest recorded expression.
We'll call it the magic.
It was a cool.
But also as well. Oh, my apologies, guys. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it was a great experience working with them. We couldn't be happier. And I guess the second part to your question there was, where can people find it? Spotify, iTunes. It's on all the platforms. And again, Bandcamp is a really great website for DIY. People that are trying to do this independently. You can go there and purchase the album. There's like a minimum donation. I think it's $7 on that album, but you can see our whole discography there. And so it's pretty available. We're working on getting some CDs and maybe vinyl in the future. Vinyl's quite costly, so
it's almost prohibitive. But if it gets to that point, we might do a vinyl. We might do a release. But like we'll say pick 12 of like the best songs we ever had and put a vinyl there maybe. But it's
I'd love to see it on vinyl. I'd love to see the first record on vinyl too, if we can do it. But and we should mention that our bass player Rocco, who's not present tonight, but he owns and operates a printing company out of Kingston called Ironclad Printing Company. Yeah, and so. Which is amazing for a DIY punk rock band, because he prints all our merch and all of our stuff.
The shirts cost nothing.
Yeah.
But also as well, October 6th, just last week, you guys had the opportunity to perform alongside the Massacre. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this previous show, and of course, do you guys actually have any other up-and-coming shows? That way our listeners can actually come out and see the Beta 58's live in full effect.
Yeah, so October 27th, we're playing as well in Kingston with our buddies Random Killing. They're a great old hardcore band. They've been around since the 80s. It'd be a Halloween show with Master as well, and Screaming Sins now. So another great psychobilly band from town.
Yeah, so the last show we played was with the Ripcords and with the Massacre. The Massacre's a punk rock band from Napanee area. They've been around a long time too, and went through their ebbs and flows, I think. But that was the last time, which was awesome. It was at Buddy's tattoo shop, and we built a stage and everything in there. Very, very punk venue, but I think we're moving the venue to the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna move it to a place called the Warehouse. It's quite literally a warehouse. It's a nice big venue downtown Kingston, like Rideau Street area, and it's a kind of nice, another kind of DIY kind of venue. So
so the next one we're bringing Random Killing from Toronto, and they're quite a legendary Toronto punk band as well. Yeah. And I mean, how long have they been around?
I think Random Killing's probably been around almost 35 years.
Yeah.
They're a great band to see. If anybody's around, they're awesome. Yeah. And the only band I've ever known to have a song on Sesame Street.
That's on the top of the bar.
But I have to ask, aside from this up and coming show later on this month, what is next for the Beta 58's? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you guys still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? We still got you here live on 99.9 FM.
I'd say there's one show that actually hasn't been announced, but I think I'm happy to announce it now. We're going to be supporting Daglo Abortions on December the 10th here in Kingston too. So that's going to be an awesome show. And right now we're really focusing on promoting the album. So we got a lot of different stuff going on, some media stuff, we're going to be working on some music videos. We got a couple songs we're batting around ideas. So expect to see a music video or two coming out to support the record, and yeah, just trying to get the music around.
Yeah, soon enough we'll be playing a city near you.
Yeah, we're thinking about the tour probably in the spring and the fall. We're going to get pretty serious about getting back on the road here soon, but we don't have any tour dates to really announce just yet, besides a few local shows.
Sean?
But obviously, I know how to follow you guys on social media, but for the individuals that are listening all over the world that are just discovering the Beta 58's tonight, how can they go about following not only you guys as a band, but of course all 4 individual members as well?
Yeah, I mean our Instagram page is probably the most active. I keep that pretty active, posting new stuff that we're doing kind of weekly. Our Facebook page as well, if you're on that platform. So Facebook, Instagram, you can go on YouTube. YouTube's tricky, right? Because a Beta 58 is a microphone.
Yeah.
So if you go in on YouTube and say Beta 58, you'll find 1,000 fucking videos about a microphone. So when you go there, type in the Beta 58's punk or
Kingston,
or the Beta 58's Kingston or whatever.
Not
Just
microphone.
use your keyword and you'll find us. You'll find a couple of videos that we recorded over the years. Cool video for a track called Hogtown. Cool video for one called Me Versus Me.
Yeah,
A few other odds and ends on there.
Yeah, a couple more to come. Our good friend Paul Ferguson does a lot of our videos, so that every 10 minutes there's a new video out. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, keep up with us. I always tag some of our personal accounts too on a lot of our posts, so people can find us that way. Rocco's Printing Shop, Ironclad Graphics. Yeah. We should mention that if there's any other bands out there that are looking to get merchandise printed, get a hold of Rocco, look up Ironclad Printing Company, because he does merch for a lot of bands and he'll ship all over Canada, wherever, all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. He'll make time.
Yeah.
I don't want to link my own personal profile because I want to get charged.
And also, this guy plays the drums in the ripcords. He's pretty humble, about it, but it's a pretty cool gig. He travels a lot around with those guys, and those guys have been around since 1980, and I consider them to be pretty legendary Canadian punk rock band, and Paul in particular does a lot for, you can look up Punk Canada. There's a group on Facebook. Paul moderates that, and he puts out like a lot of really useful stuff for punk rock bands. Like he does a big list of like everybody who's booking for promoters and stuff that all across Canada. So check out Punk Canada on Facebook. Lots of useful stuff there. So yeah.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways just a bit of your time here this evening. It was such an honor speaking with you three, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, definitely have yourselves a phenomenal Saturday night.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. And
hey, you're most certainly welcome, guys. Definitely have yourself a kick-ass night. We definitely shall talk here soon.
All right. Cheers, man.
See ya, bud.